Welcome to another artbeads.com handy tip video. I'm Amy and this is Carolyn, and today I'll be showing you how to make some simple loops. Carolyn's never made a simple loop before, so she's going to be sitting in for a little bit of instruction and hopefully to ask some questions as we go along. Simple loops are one of the most basic wire working techniques, and they're a great way to incorporate dangles and links in your jewelry pieces. There's a lot of different ways to make a simple loop, so today I'm going to show you 4 different techniques using head pins, eye pins, and half-hard sterling silver wire. Now the first thing I've done is to collect an assortment of head pins, eye pins, and wire, just to show you that there's a great deal of variety when choosing them. They all come in different lengths, gauges, and finishes, so you'll just want to get the ones that are appropriate for the beads that you'll be working with today. For the first technique that I'm showing you, I'll be using a 22 gauge 1.5 inch eye pin, and you'll want to string your bead onto your eye pin. You'll want to make a 90-degree bend just above your bead.
Now, which tool are you using to make that bend?
I'm using the chain nose pliers, but you can also bend it with your finger if that's easier.
Okay.
You'll then want to trim the tail end of your wire to about 1/3 of an inch. You want the tail of your wire facing away from you, and then with your round nose pliers, you'll just want to grip the very end of your wire and then just roll that towards you to make a loop.
Now, do you need to use the round nose pliers? Could you use the chain nose pliers or any other pliers?
You do need to use the round nose because they're perfectly round on both sides, and the chain nose are flat on one side, so they won't make a round one. And if you need to go back to straighten your loop out just a little bit, that's okay. And once you've made your loops, especially for a link like this, you'll want both ends to be facing the same direction. And you could just take your chain nose pliers, grip both sides, and just turn them to the same direction. And there you have a nice little link. Now for the second technique that I'll be showing you today, I'll be using a 24 gauge 1.5 inch head pin. And you'll just want to string your bead onto that head pin. You'll want to make that 90-degree bend just above your bead again. You'll want to trim the wire to about 1/3 of an inch.
Now, when you're trimming your wire, if you cut it either too long or too short, what can you do?
If you cut it too long, once you start making the loop with your round nose pliers, you can go back and trim some of the excess off. But if you trim it too short, you're probably going to have to start over, which is okay because this is one of those things you really need to practice at.
Okay.
So for this technique, we're going to be using our thumbnail for support. So you'll want the wire facing towards you, just resting on your thumb. And you'll want to grip the tail end of your wire. And then pushing against your thumb, you'll want to roll the wire away from you. I'm just going to straighten mine out. So now I'm just going to attach this one that I made to the one that I made before.
Now, when you're opening and closing your loops, is there a certain technique that you need to use?
You'll want to open and close the loops the same way that you would a jump ring. You don't want to pull them apart when opening them because it'll weaken your loop, but you'll want to kind of do it in the side to side.
Okay.
And I'm just going to attach these to an ear wire. And in a few simple steps, you have a really nice earring.
Yeah, that was really easy.
Now for the third and fourth techniques that I'll be showing you, we'll be using some half-hard sterling silver wire. You'll just want to make sure that you're using the half-hard and not the dead soft wire, because the dead soft will not keep its shape. So with your nylon jaw pliers, you'll want to straighten out a bit of your wire. And then you'll want to trim some off.
Now, how do you know how long to cut that piece of wire?
I like to keep it about 3 times the length of the bead that I'm working with. And if you're just practicing, it's probably a good idea to keep it a little bit longer.
Okay.
So with your round nose pliers, you want to grip the very tail end of your wire. And then with your thumb, just roll that wire all the way around. And it'll form a nice little P shape. And then insert your chain nose pliers into that little loop and just push the tail of your wire down just a little bit till it makes a nice eye pin. Then string your bead onto your wire. You want to make that 90-degree bend. And then with your round nose pliers, you want to grip your wire right where you made that bend at. And then with your finger, just push the wire all the way around till you come back to the bead. And then you want to trim your wire, and I like to keep that about even with the top of my bead. And it's better to be a little bit too long because you can always go back and trim some more off. And mine actually is a little bit too long, so I will need to go back. And then with your chain nose pliers, you're going to want to grip one side of your round nose and the other side your wire. And you're going to want to just push the tail of that wire all the way around. Let me use the bigger chain nose. And it's okay if you slip while you're doing this, because I usually do. My hands aren't the steadiest. I'm just going to go back and trim that little bit of wire off. And there you have a nice little link. And now I made some links in advance, so I'm just going to attach this to those.
Now for something like this where you would be creating several different loops, is there any way that you can get them to be approximately the same size?
Yeah, once you figure out what size you like your loops, you can mark your pliers with a permanent marker and just keep using that mark.
Okay.
Now I continued the link pattern with the pearls, and I added a toggle clasp just to show you how easy it would be to make a full bracelet using these links.
That's really pretty.
That's all for this handy tip video. We hope it's been helpful. For more handy tips and ideas, please visit the Learning Center at artbeads.com.